what you have is a distortion of the legal process. There is no doubt in my mind, but that a grand jury will indict the officer in the case of Michael Brown. It will be political pressure, just as it was in Trayvon Martin. They will be messing with the grand jury system. A prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich if they want to. They will indict this officer.
I agree. They will indict this officer, and it will be for political pressure. Folks, if the evidence is as we have heard, if, you know the whole scenario by now, tells him to get out of the street, Michael Brown and his friend, they say no, he tries to get out of his car, the officer, they push the door shut, punch him in the face, Michael Brown does, breaks his eye socket in two bones in his eye socket, the cop's woozy, Michael Brown grabs for the gun goes off. I mean, look at this scenario. You're indicting a cop, and the kid runs, and then he starts charging at him, mocking him, saying, "You're not going to shoot me." The cop is woozy. He's in fear of his life. He shoots to kill. He has a right to. But I believe they will indict for political reasons. Absolutely. More.
And I'll tell you what will happen. They'll have a trial. The white jurors will see it one way. The black jurors will see it another. The white jurors will look at that convenience store surveillance tape. They will see Michael Brown menacing that clerk. The white jurors will put themselves in the shoes of that clerk. They'll say, of course the officer responded the way he did. He was menaced by a 6'4", 300-pound, kid, 10 minutes fresh from a strong-arm robbery. The officer was defending himself. The white jurors will put themselves in the white officer's place. The black jurors will see Michael Brown, despite his flaws, as the surrogate for every black youngster ever shot.
All right, the problem with that argument is it didn't hold in Trayvon Martin's case. In Trayvon Martin's case, or George Zimmerman's trial, black jurors voted not guilty. Okay? They voted not guilty. In the Amadou Diallo case in New York, where an unarmed vendor was shot 6 times by shot 48 times by 6 cops. Not guilty. Black foreman on the jury. So Geraldo might have a point, but history kind of proves him wrong more.
I am speaking to you as a person who's worked in the prosecutor's office, who's been a legal services attorney, a civil rights attorney. I have more than 4.5 decades of experience, and I tell you what happens here, Harris. People see things through the most egregious issue we have domestically, which is race. They will choose sides based on race. I see it clear as day, and to accuse me of being simplistic defies the reality of American justice.
It is
this is the way it happens. This is what will happen here. And to intervene politicians going into a judicial system, there is no doubt the cop will be indicted. There is no doubt the cop on Staten Island will be indicted. And every white juror will say, just as the black jurors in the O.J. Simpson case chose sides on race, this will be a race. This will be a race case.
A race case. Now, some of the women on that show on Fox weren't happy with that and said Geraldo wasn't being helpful, and he had an answer for that.
I didn't sit here to be helpful. I sat here to be truthful. And let me tell you one other thing about these 31 people that were arrested. How many of them really want justice for Michael Brown? When you're looting a liquor store, are you really looting the liquor store or the sneaker store for justice? That is because these are opportunists.
All right, they are opportunists. Now, the issue of President Obama came up, and here's what Geraldo had to say.
I believe that the president's biggest failing, and I tend to support him far more than most of my colleagues here. I believe the president is in many ways undervalued and underrated. But his biggest failing, in my view, aside from not bombing ISIS sooner than he did, his biggest failing is not assuming the role as father, as surrogate dad for urban families.
Assuming the role as surrogate dad for urban families? What exactly would that entail? I would like to know. He didn't have to stop the scholarship program, the voucher program in Washington D.C. for the poorest black kids as one of his first things that he did while in office. That he didn't have to do, and a bunch of other things. But surrogate dad? Coming back, Newsmax Now 1 update is next.